Okay, here's another solution. Um, Let me tell you a story about a big business called Walmart. Walmart in the beginning was very lean and efficient. He became profitable with his first store. I can't remember the name of the store, but it was more like a Dollar General style store. And what had happened was, is that was successful. He was buying cheap products and he was turning around and selling, that it became profitable and he started to franchise and extend it out. Or not franchise, but he started building other businesses and extending it out. And what happened is, at first, he was paying them a decent amount of wage to the employees, and the standard was that every employee that worked full time would get health insurance, which would in turn help the businesses in the surrounding city or town. And of course, the health insurance would um, allow people to go to the doctor more often and get treatment. And what happened was, of course, since people have insurance, they use it more unless the deductible is outrageous. So there was a good exchange. Um, and of course, people would go and buy from Walmart because they were typically getting a better price from Walmart than the rest of the stores around in the area. So there becomes a fierce competition. And the businesses that are semi-big are competing with Walmart, who is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So then there's an increased efficiency, but somewhere something went wrong. Either maybe he talked to a statistical analysis, or somebody who had come fresh out of business school decided that it was a good idea to cut costs somehow. And um, of course, I don't know if it was a direct result of Mr. Walton or this person that Mr. Walton hired, but they go, oh, well, I've got a great idea. Why don't we just buy stuff that's really, really cheap overseas and ship it over here, eat the transportation costs, and then turn around and sell it for a cheaper price than other businesses in the surrounding area could sell their products for. So what happened is the smaller businesses started failing, the medium-sized businesses were struggling, and the ones that were failing or struggling decided, well, hey, he's surviving. Actually, he's doing well. Why don't I go and do the same thing? Let's buy stuff from China and Thailand and stuff like that and have it shipped over here for even cheaper. Instead of paying a typical American $10 or $11 wage, let's pay this Chinese guy 10 cents an hour. Okay, so what happened is, in the meantime, America realizes that they are not getting the taxes that they expected, so they raise taxes even more, which causes the medium and the big businesses to go overseas in order to stay profitable. Okay, and then in effect, this causes the employees that are still working for the businesses to work for less and less wages. And then, of course, you have the people that were gainfully employed, that worked and had a good self-esteem about themselves, um, find out that the house that they could own or were working towards getting or had, they're having an increasingly hard time of keeping their house. And of course, what happened was, um, a lot of them either said, well, gosh, instead of a one housing income, we need two. So the other one went. If there was a two-person family, the other one would go out and get a job as well. And then what happened is there was nobody taking care of the children unless they were going to daycare. Well, daycare is not a family. This kid, he's being pawned off to some lady that you barely know that has no emotional attachment or interest in this child. So this child is not getting the proper amount of love and moral support that they're actually craving. So crime goes up because when he hits a teenager year and he gets a car or he goes out with his friends, he commits crime and it just snowballs one after another. I know a kid down the street. I am surprised that he is not in jail yet. That microwaved his gerbil, okay, and then he microwaved the next animal that he got, and uh, I mean live, okay, animal that he got. So that's how it starts. Is you give the kid an instant to act up, and they are allowed to do it over and over again. It's going to cause him to build up and up and up and up until he commits a crime. He ends up in jail, and then you have to pay for his butt for the next 5 years because he's in jail. Okay? Well, the taxpayers do, which also puts a burden on these businesses that were trying to cut costs in the first place. And then what happens is you've got the two people working and they're working their butt off. They go, oh, well, we can't afford to have a kid. I don't have the time to have a kid. I'm working my butt off trying to make ends meet. And what happens is we experience a population decrease. Oh, well, and then Bush has this great idea to where he wants to make the Mexicans legal so it'll help increase the population and make them pay taxes and stuff like that, which actually was a pretty good idea. But he, if the people before him had an idea of what they needed to do and do properly, we would have people who are gainfully employed, who are morally adept, and who are emotionally secure, okay, who won't commit crime, who will go to work, and who will pay their taxes. And what has happened is you have let these businesses take all that away. And maybe they did that because they wanted to increase efficiency, increase profit. But in effect, it makes it worse for everybody, including their generational family, including their kids and their grandkids. And so Walmart, who was rich beyond belief, is not nearly as rich unless they go and invest in stock. And that is how they're getting around it. They're investing in real estate and they're investing in stocks, and that's how they make the profit still. And then what happens is the town around them, all there is a grocery store, a drugstore, which by the way, drugstores are even suffering now. I heard that the insurances are going rampant and talking about not renewing the insurance for Walgreens and CVS. And when and if they lose their license, they will close several stores. And then also there's the issue of being too big. If you do fail, then there are serious repercussions around, and it's not like a minor domino effect. It's huge. It's astronomical. There shouldn't be only one or two of that certain type of company. There should be at least five, okay? And the five is the magic number because if two fail, three are still afloat, and they're taking 33% of the market each. So that would be okay in instance. So, you know, I understand it, and I'm this close to a bachelor's degree. Why do people with PhDs not figure this out? It doesn't make any sense. Or hire the proper people to do the right thing. And you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as long as there is equal share